So you have new music ready for the world to hear, but have no idea how or where to start when it comes to actually releasing it, and that's a problem. Now the good news is that I'm about to break down a launch strategy for new music releases that'll empower you with a plan that actually works. See, without a plan, all that time and effort that you put into making your music goes right into the trash when you post work and nobody knows it exists. Don't get me wrong, what you're doing still matters, and the music can still be incredible, but a whole lot of people make incredible music. A whole lot of people who will never be heard. A whole lot of people that the world will never know by name because they don't have a plan. Now, this is video number 3 of a 4-part series breaking down my magnetic music marketing formula. So if you haven't checked out the first 2 videos yet, definitely make sure to deep dive into those after watching this video, of course, because they're packed with information that'll help propel you to a whole new level. Now, as always, grab a pen and some paper and make sure to take notes because this is how you build out a successful new music launch ecosystem. Now, something you need to understand is that when you're putting together a new release, your music is core as far as the product, right? But in reality, there's 6 or 7 essential steps that we need to be doing to ensure that our release has the highest chance of being heard and building momentum once we release it out into the world. This is a full-blown ecosystem with support elements that surround it. Side note, I'm also going to share some pro tips later that no one seems to be talking about, so you won't want to skip around in this video. Now, the first thing that we need to be looking at is distribution of our audio and visuals. So if you're planning on releasing new music to Spotify, for example, it's best to submit that project for distribution at least 2 weeks prior to it going live to the public. Now, if you're looking to submit that release to playlists or blogs, like a lot of people talk about, you'll want to schedule that public release date out 4 to 6 weeks to make sure that you have time to reach curators, but I'll break that down a little bit later in the video. Now, you can distribute your releases to all the major platforms such as Spotify and Apple Music using a service such as DistroKid, and if you go to distrodiscount.com, you'll get the best price for your membership if you're into saving money. Now, let's talk visuals. You don't have to have a full-blown music video ready at the same time that you submit music for distribution, but super important to have a plan in place to get those things scheduled as far as releasing visuals in the forms of photo and video, right? Those are the supporting things for that new release. Now, a common mistake is people release new music and then like a year later decide to drop a music video for that release when the momentum already came and went. They end up missing that window of opportunity. So make sure to have the videos, the visuals, whatever you want to call them, ready on the release date or soon after them. That's all I'm saying. Now I want to deep dive a little bit more into the visuals, right? It's important to put together a promo content calendar and have that clear plan when it comes to attacking your marketing. For the new release, it needs to come down to social media and a few other places. This should include your pre-launch strategy all the way up to the launch of the release and then followed up with what I call the post-launch push. We do this to build momentum and awareness around our new music while allowing you to connect with your fans and new followers across all platforms of choice. Now, I don't really believe in trying to build a huge audience on every platform unless you've already built out a team, and I suggest just focusing on 3 platforms that you're comfortable with to start, and then you build those before you expand. Also, when I say 3 platforms, I'm not referring to the streaming platforms. Now, a great way to start building leverage with your pre-launch is by guiding your audience over to a mailing list. Now, if you currently don't have a mailing list, it's okay. You could start with a service like MailChimp, who has a great free membership with a lot of features to get you started. Now, you can build a landing page directly through MailChimp or embed your list sign-up form directly on your website if you feel like looking a little bit more professional. Now, I know that the concept of email marketing might throw a lot of people off. If you feel like you have no idea how you would get a stranger to sign up for your mailing list, don't feel bad. We all feel like that at first. So how do we build that list? Well, you could offer early access for your upcoming music video for your email community or provide behind-the-scenes content that no one else would receive. Tickets to virtual shows, discounts for upcoming gigs, etc. You need to be creative and offer things that your audience will resonate with the most to get them to join your list. From there, make sure to follow through on those offers. Email marketing will become a valuable part of your progress over time, so just be patient, practice, test things out, and build that email list to give you direct access to your audience, which is really powerful, but it's a long play. Valuable lists are not built overnight. Now, I mentioned this earlier, but if you're planning on submitting your music to Spotify playlists or blogs, it's a good idea to upload your release 4 to 6 weeks before you plan on going live to the public with it, right? Now, we're doing this for a few reasons. First and foremost, during the pandemic, a lot of curators lost their jobs. The remaining curators have been working remotely for the most part, and because so many people are submitting new music to these curators, it just takes them a little bit longer to review your music. Now, some of you guys might have even experienced a delay in the release date over the past year because of this. Now, imagine getting emailed hundreds of new songs a day and expected to review them all. It just takes them a little bit longer to get through. With that being said, most blogs and playlists want access to your music before it goes live to the public. They want to get their hands on it, right? I look at it like breaking news. Reporters fight for the chance to break the hottest news story of the day before it becomes old news. Same goes for playlists and blogs featuring hot new music. Now, submitting your music to blogs and playlists can be done in several different ways, so there isn't just one step-by-step tutorial to follow, so you have to do your due diligence. Now, you can use a service such as Submit Hub that a lot of people use, or find curators' contact information directly through LinkedIn. That's kind of a backdoor hack on that. You can always submit using their submission form if they have one on a website or a blog. Never doubt the power of a well-crafted email sent directly, my friends. Now, I want to mention that making sure that your music is copyrighted and registered with a performance rights organization, also known as a pro, can be incredibly important. Two of the most commonly discussed are ASCAP and BMI, which I'm sure you've heard of before. Now, in my opinion, if you really believe in the record and you think that the release could find success long-term, register it. At the end of the day, it ensures that you're protected and on track to receive your compensation if the song really takes off and starts getting radio spins. Now, you'll still earn streaming revenue without having your song registered to a pro or being legally copyrighted. Now, if you're talking about doing things the right way up front, it's a good idea to get this taken care of, right? So you can avoid issues later. Now, yes, if you created the recording and you have the music and everything, you already own the copyright and you have copyright protection, but submitting to the Copyright Office is officially the best way to register and actually get it copyrighted. Obviously, I'm talking about registering the music with the U.S. Copyright Office, since there's no such thing as an international copyright, although some countries do have copyright protections built into international treaties, but I'm getting way off topic here. Pop quiz. Where do most people fail when it comes to releasing new music and actually building momentum within a music career? Any guesses? The follow-up release sequence. They spend all their time, resources, money working on one single song. Then for whatever reason, start believing that that one song is the finish line, when that's typically not how it works. When we have our releases planned and plotted out a little bit more carefully, we start to build that framework for the follow-up sequence. This is how all major artists build their momentum. You see this with massive artists like Drake, who has like 130 singles between solo and featured projects. Beyonce has like 60 plus singles, and even Dua Lipa has over, I think, 20 singles. I read that recently, as a relative newcomer in the industry. Now, I know that the genre of music you're making might be worlds away from those artists, but music is meant to be shared and enjoyed. We are responsible for providing that to our audience. A successful launch will provide momentum, build a buzz, and if we follow up with that material, we won't lose out on being able to really capitalize on that progress. Now, I've said it before, but trying to do everything last minute should be a thing of the past, especially if you want to develop a music-based brand and business with staying power, as we all should. And I know it sounds a little cheesy, but if you fail to plan, you ultimately plan to fail. It's so true. Now, I've mentioned earlier in the video that there's a pro tip that you should be using to give you an advantage when it comes to releasing new music, and that's carefully looking at a calendar and doing some basic Google searches prior to releasing your new music. Now, hear me out, I'm actually being serious. You would be shocked by how many people schedule their new releases on holidays or major social events unintentionally. I'm talking about days where statistically people are more distracted or less likely to be online. Now, I've talked about this before, but most major artists release their new songs on Friday because Billboard does their tracking from Friday to Thursday. Releasing music on Fridays gives the artist a full week to have their stats tracked. Now, similarly, releasing new music on Fridays on Spotify has also been proven to land more songs on algorithmic playlists such as Discover Weekly or Release Radar, which can really lead to a song taking off. Now, if I'm playing devil's advocate, releasing a new song, a new single, a new album, whatever, on Tuesday or Wednesday would give you less competition to promote against all those new songs that are dropping on Friday. So just something to think about when you release new music, because with little tweaks can make huge differences. Now, if you're still with me, I want you to let the world know that your next release will be successful. So in the comments section, I want you to write, "My music will be heard around the world." And let's make that a reality. Now, if you've enjoyed this video and how I broke down the entire release ecosystem, then I have some good news for you. In my upcoming Sell Music Masterclass 2.0, I'll be giving away my most guarded secrets, tips, strategies, and techniques, such as my inbound music marketing formula, my advanced video marketing framework, and my social media domination blueprint, just to name a few. Registration once again opens to the public on April 19th, and this is hands down the best and most up-to-date training I've ever released. It contains everything that I've learned about magnetic music marketing and the systems I've developed around it. Now, in my next video, I break down the entire plan from start to finish. What you need to know to have your voice heard, find passionate fans, and get paid doing what you love to do, music. I'm taking you behind the scenes to show you every step, so you won't want to miss that video because I'll be giving the entire game plan away. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and make sure to go get your name on that early bird waitlist for my upcoming Sell Music Masterclass 2.0 if you haven't yet. Now, go take action on what you've learned in this video, and I'll see you in the next one.